everyone first. I'm sorry. I know that you had to go for tea, but because of little bit of arrangement, we had to do it bit early. So thank you for staying. So today's topic is only about staying productive. How do we stay productive in PHP with Livewire? So I'm going to cover that. So in the modern apps today that we build, we focus too much of time in maintaining the workflows and introducing new tools. So today we are going to look at how Livewire solves them. In this coming talk, we are going to look at the demo that I am going to show you, the features that the important features of Livewire, which will help us make us understand how productive we can be with just using the Livewire. All right, be with me. Before that, let me introduce myself. So, are you guys playing Lara Connect game? Yes, are you enjoying it? Yes, so last year I had built this using Livewire, and hopefully we can see something similar today with the demo. So I am Jigar Dhulla. I have 14 years of experience into PHP. I build apps ranging from internal tools to even CRM help desk. So, and I also run Laravel Pune community. I am the organizer. Yes, and let's move on with the talk. So we know jQuery. How many have you worked with jQuery? Are you still using it? Yes, okay, good, good. Because the DOM manipulation that it does, it's quite easy. Okay, but it's heavy in the DOM manipulation. So for let's say, if you want to change a name, we have to pick each and everything, like pick element and then change name. That's the imperative style. Then we take a look at the modern way, the modern SPAs like React, how they change it. They are quite reactive. So they use something called as states, where they are expert in maintaining state. So just in case of a name, we just say it, declare it one time, and if we change it once, it will change multiple times. I hope it is clear to you guys. So modern SPAs are good, but they come with their own set of problems. So first, let's say we are making a API call in React. It is very common. We make a API call. We fetch the data from the database. Then we store it into the browser. First source of truth is the database, and second becomes our browser. The problem that is that we have to keep these in sync. That's where the complexity arises, and routers also need to be written twice, like we have to declare the route in Laravel first, and then again the same thing at the JavaScript level. So don't get me wrong, but we have come too far in the ecosystem. We have Inertia.js, we have Ziggy, we also have Wayfinder recently, which helps bridge these gaps. So to give you example of this sync, I missed it. So let's say the sync issue is that, let's say if I want to change my username, in the form, I submit a button, I see still my old username in the top right in the bar. So that's what the sync issue is. And also the major thing is about the context switching tags we get when we use two projects literally. One, we have to maintain our Laravel backend, and second, we have to maintain our JavaScript or a React. So how did we developers solve this issue is we started creating two tickets, one for the front end and one for the back end. So now we focus towards like building one feature, one task, one stack, that is Livewire. How many of you work with Livewire? Nice. So let's take a look at how Livewire works behind the scene a little bit. So first, what is Livewire? Livewire is a full stack framework, helps us create dynamic interfaces just using PHP. As Scalable puts it, Livewire is Blade on steroids. So how Livewire, like how can, in a simple terms, Livewire is a real-time translator. So server speaks in a PHP language and browser speaks in JavaScript language. Livewire sits in between and helps the PHP code that we write and automatically translates it into the HTML and JavaScript. So we simply write the logic in the language we love, and the browser just understands it. How Livewire solves this? There are three things to remember. The source of truth remains only one, that is PHP. The same properties that we see, that we use in PHP class becomes our state. We'll see that in demo also. The rendering happens at the server side using Laravel Blade. The HTML rendering happens at the server side. And last, the important features of Livewire, important core mechanism is when the user clicks on any button, what happens is that it to take any action, it sends a request, HTTP request inside to the server. It updates the state and gives us response back in the HTML format. Let's take a look at the demo. Here is the job listing. To give you idea of the setup, we have web.php, which is the route. It loads only the component, parent component, that is job listing on the route. And we have create job alert, that is a child component to create the job alerts. And then we have tests. So let's take a look at demo. So here when we write PHP, the filtering happens automatically. This is, I have written not a single word of JavaScript over here, and it is filtering PHP, all the job listing for PHP. This happens in jobs. We have wire model query. So this is one of the line which is responsible to set the query as two-way binding. So the property that we see over here, this helps the two-way binding. Next is we'll look at the action. When we do a save alert, this does the complex logic behind the scene, which we'll take a look at, without using JavaScript. Create alert method. We use the wire click directive of Livewire, which simply when we pass a create alert, it calls this method and it does a complex task: validation, insertion, creation of alert, job alert, and an alert message that we saw over there. And I want to show you, last piece that I want to show you is the test. So we did the filtering of the job. We seeded the data with the location remote and location New York. And then we are simply testing this component pages job. We set the location property to remote. Then we expect to see remote job, but the office job should not be displayed. So as you can see, this test is working fine. All the tests are working perfectly fine. So this was the demo. And sorry, one latest Livewire 4 feature that I have used but I wouldn't be able to explain in detail is the infinite scroll. I have used the island feature. Please read the docs, watch Caleb's video. This again, I have used this without using JavaScript. I was able to achieve this infinite scrolling, what we can see over here. As you can see, this is expanding. No JavaScript over here. Thank you. Coming back to the slide. So what we saw is we have just a PHP property, no API is required over here, no API glue, just a property became our state. Then we could just with a single method which we added in our HTML, we were able to call a method called create alert, not filter of course, but the complex logic it was able to take care. Then also with the language that we love, that is PHP, we were able to test the front end component. That is the best part about this. Yes, this is Livewire, and the whole point here is that now that we can do everything in PHP, let's just ship using PHP itself. Done?
Very good, bro.
We heard the claps.
Yep. But I heard the claps before as well. Yeah, I can hear it once again. क्या बात करते हो, sir? So for you, I have personality ping. But before that, I would like to ask, like, you have been part of, like, as you mentioned, you contributed your time behind making the game last year, which was the blast earlier, like being part of it. I request everyone, Sambro, we have to be here. The reason is that the Freak is coming here just for like 5-10 minutes. So we want everyone to stay, and then we'll take a break. And after break, we have only the talk of Taylor. So please be at the venue itself right now. So can you please come here? So how was your experience like being on stage and also being part of community since long?
I'll be honest, being part of the stage, I'm a bit nervous as everyone can see.
Yep. Perfect. So let's start with personality ping. Planning the day or going with the flow?
Going with the flow. Like
Going with the flow.
right
Good. Second, one big task or many small tasks?
Many small tasks.
Many small tasks. Third, morning focus or late night productivity?
Morning focus.
Morning focus. Fourth, vada pav or misal pav?
This is Mumbai versus Pune.
सही है. खंडाला आ जाओ.
Vada pav.
Vada pav. Fifth, finishing tasks or perfecting tasks?
Finishing task.
Finishing task. Sixth, to-do list or mental notes?
Mental notes.
Mental notes. Seventh, clean desk or organized chaos? सोच के बना है भाई, ऐसे ही थोड़ी कुछ भी पूछ लेंगे.
Organized chaos. of course,
Organized chaos. Eighth, सिंघाट फोर्ट नहीं
Sihagarh Fort.
सिंहगढ़ फोर्ट
Fort, yes.
और यार ये
Shaniwarwada, no.
शनिवारवाड़ा फोर्ट.
Sihagarh Fort.
सिंहगढ़ फोर्ट.
Yes.
So what is there anything special about it?
It's a fort in Pune, like the movie that Tanaji
was being built here.
Yeah, he was
Nice.
lion over there. So
Ninth, early mornings or late nights in Pune?
there is no late night in Pune, early morning.
Early morning. There is no late nights?
Compared to Mumbai,
10th, learning something new or improving what you know?
I want to learn something new, but I should improve what I know.
So one among them. But if you have to pick one choice.
Improve what you know.
All right. Perfect, Jigar. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you for being on stage.